Alright, so update on the actual shift spacer or shifter spacer for the Pro 5.0 shifter. So as you saw in the videos, I was grinding this by hand with a file and it came out fairly straight. I made the first 2 holes. It's got 4 holes total that need to be done, and it's a tapered shape. So if you remember when I did this quick sketch, where the heck is it? Right here. This is basically what I'm making, this thing right here. That spacer. This is not an exact drawing or draft. It's just a quick sketch to get the idea. Anyway, the point is that I was making the holes and I had to make some relief cuts. I have an end mill, but I don't have one big enough. And I made 2 mistakes, and you can see it gouged the metal or the aluminum pretty bad. So I'll try to grind that down a little bit or file it down so it's better. Anyway, it's still on the original rod. I'm going to cut it off once I'm done with the other 2 holes. The other 2 holes are going to be right about here and about here. Those are going to be threaded holes. These are through holes because this piece is going to actually clamp onto the actual shift linkage or whatever you want to call it, the one that goes on the actual shifter, which is this thing right here. So anyway, that's just a quick update, and I'll see you guys when I'm done. Well, it's finally done. After a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, got this little piece, this little spacer made out of this round aluminum 6061 T65, yeah, 651. Should be plenty strong. It's a pain in the butt, but it's done. And this is how it looks like up close. As you remember, if you saw the video earlier, I made some mistakes, a couple of mistakes here and there, when I did not secure this piece the drill press correctly, so the end mill actually gouged the metal. So I ended up making these little valleys just to prevent the gouging from becoming a stress crack or something like that in the future. So, and I wasn't going to remake the whole thing or basically file it down to that size anymore. Anyway, as you can see, I had to make some, I guess, countersunk holes here, and I'll show you once it's installed why. But yeah, it turned out decent. Not bad. Not bad at all. My pinky suffered a little bit. Nice nasty cut. But I just have this brace so I don't bend it. And let's get it installed and see how it looks. Shifter now in place. This is how it looks installed. And you can see the reason why I made those countersunk holes. So the shift rod wouldn't actually hit the bolts. That's why. Anyway, so this piece I made threads onto this stock piece, or the Pro 5.0 shift lever on the bottom portion, and then obviously the actual shift lever threads onto the little aluminum piece I made. They're on there with thread locker. Hopefully it'll be good enough for vibrations. And as you can see now, if you see the previous video, the shifter was tilting this way, in this direction, and back. It's now straight, almost centered, which is great. So it's now straight up. Now it does not look like it's in gear like it used to. The only problem that remains is that the shift boot itself does not clear. It still doesn't clear, so the holes will not line up at all. So I'll have to see what I can do about that, but that's a project for another day. And now the shift knob itself, as I said before, this hole is plenty big for this. Obviously it's not threaded. It used to have a little thread insert for a way smaller thread size, but it goes into place like this. And what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna bond it on there. The only reason I'm not gonna make a threaded insert is because if I make one, I will have to actually cut the hole bigger, make it bigger, and it's gonna probably crack the wood, and I don't want that. So I'm just gonna bond it on here. It's gonna make it difficult to install a shift boot. But that's the only solution I can come up with if I want to use this. So that's it for now, and that's pretty much how it's gonna look, and I think it looks pretty nice. Looks fairly stock. Obviously the actual shift boot or whatever, the other one, it's right there. When the console's installed, it's gonna look pretty good, I think. And it feels really nice. It feels solid. This shifter's way better than the stock one. So it feels good. Can't wait to get it running and shift this thing into gear. So that's it for now. Next thing is gonna be the wiring. I'm gonna fix all that stuff, and we'll keep going.